Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Boku no Hero Academia Chapter 217. I'm excited to see where we're going for the new arc and everything, but I don't think we'll get there quite yet. Either way, I want to discuss it a little bit before I get into it. So I think what's going to happen now, we kind of just ended the one arc, and there were a lot of problems with the short-term storytelling, but long-term Horikoshi had these points that he wanted to hit and get across, and that was mainly that Izuku has potential for these new quirks in the future, which I'm really excited to see how that's going to develop over time. And in addition, there was the stuff at the very end with Monoma going to visit Eri. Now, I feel like Monoma's character was hurt by the fact that they lost, and he was kind of confirmed as more of a joke, and it kind of hurt him there. But I was like, it's kind of pretty dangerous to be testing Eri's power. We've seen what happens when her power goes out of control. It's a bit dangerous to be testing that using Monoma. But then again, rather than using Eri, who's a kid, if you use Monoma, who can only copy it for a limited amount of time, that kind of places one barrier of safety, and then if you have Aizawa who can stop it if things start to go wrong, that's a second area of safety. So when it comes to healing or fixing Mirio or getting his quirk back, you might have to wait years, a long time, for Eri to know enough about her quirk to be able to help him. But I don't think Monoma would be able to do it just right away instantly. But at the same time, with just a little bit of practice on things that aren't actual living humans, with just a little bit of practice, I think that Monoma could be the key to getting Mirio back his powers and not having to wait years to do so. So I think that's where that storyline is heading, potentially. Or maybe even if Monoma can learn to use it to do things in those short bursts, maybe Monoma can help Eri learn to be able to do it herself. So there's a lot of good things that I think can come of that. So yeah, what I think we'll get into now, though, we're kind of in a between arc kind of thing, where I don't think we're going to jump into the next arc yet. Something that happens with pretty much any long-running series is, once you end an arc, you jump around and see what characters all over the world of this arc, or of the series, are doing, before you jump into the next arc. So right now, for the next 2-3 chapters, maybe even just one chapter, we're going to see what Izuku's doing. He's probably going to go tell All Might and maybe Gran Torino as well about what happened with the vestiges, and we'll probably definitely get... that's a bit of an oxymoron. But we'll probably get to see something with Gran Torino either way. We'll probably check in with the Villain Alliance, even if just briefly. I think All For One is in the title of this chapter, so we'll probably check in with him. And the same goes with Eddie and Mirio and everyone. And I think we'll even jump in, something I would like to see, with Endeavor and Todoroki's family, because it's been an arc now since Endeavor said, okay, I'm going to do better to make up for, or I know I can never make up for the wrong I've done, but I'm going to do better at being better for the people I've wronged. And this would be a good chance to just check in really quick and see what sort of concrete steps he's taking to being better. Just to continue on that development. So I think we're going to see a bunch of stuff like that. And as for the next arc, All For One's mentioned here, but I feel like when there are these big special characters in these long-running series, it's happened with a lot of other shonen I've read, where if you go to the well of that big, sort of heavier character too many times, they start to lose their shine, they start to lose the specialness of seeing them. So I think maybe we shouldn't really do too much with All For One until we're really ready to spend an arc to develop what's going on with his part of the story. Like a Prison Break arc or something. Until then, we should maybe stay a little bit away from his character just to keep him feeling special. But I'd like for another arc villain group to be introduced, kind of like Overhaul's group, the Shie Hasaikai or whatever. Like another arc villain group that the students can have a part in defeating, and it can develop the students further as heroes. I'd like something else like that, personally. Just because that's what I like in these kinds of stories. But either way, let's actually get into reading. Sorry that was a bit long, but I felt it was good to discuss where I think the story is and where I think it might be going. But either way, starting off, the training's over and 7 p.m. the same night. What's the matter, huh? You scared or something? And we've got Izuku and Bakugo. Wait, I'm telling you, they won't come out. So he's trying to get him to use the black whips, of course. Chapter 217, New Power, and All for One. Stop, that's not how it works. Both of you calm down. And All Might bursts out blood from his mouth like usual. Wait, what are they doing? Okay. Translator page, sorry, moving along. What do you mean it won't come, what do you mean? It'll come out when he's in trouble, right? No, this is supposed to be practice to prevent it from activating on its own. So, how do you feel, young Midoriya? As I thought, it's not activating. Its presence has completely vanished. And now we have a flashback to him explaining it to All Might and Bakugo. I like that Bakugo's a part of this as well. And All Might speaking, the predecessor's quirks and the maturation of One for All, One for All itself. I see. So, you two have been having your secret conversations here the whole time, eh? Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see you here. Well, young Bakugo is sharing the secret with us now, after all. Did you know about this, All Might? The whole thing with that black quirk? No, I was also seeing it for the first time. Bald-headed successor. As I recall, the one who came before my master was a young man with black hair, and of course we've seen him in the group that Izuku has seen. But the fact that One for All is endowed with the quirks of all the previous successors, my master was most likely unaware of that as well. So that makes you the first, eh, Trash? There had to have been something that induced it, right? Don't call people trash. Amazing. He instantly drew that conclusion and moved the conversation forward. No, not at all. All he said was, the time has come. There may have been some external cause to it. Don't you think All for One is somehow involved, says Bakugo. One for All was originally derived from him, wasn't it? Possession of multiple quirks. You're just like him, don't you think? You said the exact words I least wanted to say, says All Might. But, for the time being, you need to become more familiar with that power, so a similar incident doesn't happen again. I'm telling you, you need to feel more like you're in danger. Just let me kick your ass around a bit more, and I'm sure it'll activate. And once you activate it, I'll beat you to a pulp, and then I'll be number one. Okay, he went a little off the rails at the end, but everything else Bakugo was saying kind of makes complete sense. Alright, hold back your ambition for now. If it responds to my feelings, then, at the time, this power is meant to be used in the future. I decided that it wasn't a power that I can manage right now. Maybe that's why it feels like the power's locked away right now. In which case, I should try imagining myself locking and unlocking it. Shit, talk about boring. If you can't manage it right now, then this whole thing is pointless. I'm done. Listening to your muttering makes my friggin' skin crawl. Suppose we'll call it a night. I would like, though, instead of waiting till he learns to use 100% of the strength increase, if he is able to sort of, maybe once he's like pretty solid with 30%, he can use one of the quirks, and then maybe at like 50 to 60% he can use a second of the quirks. If he just learns them over time as he's maturing with the strength part of things. I think that'd be cool. But either way. Are you alright, says All Might. All for One's power, he's thinking. Alright. Dumbass. Quit your complaining already. We have Tetsutetsu and Kirishima. But you completely pulled ahead of me today. Yeah, I can withstand heat because I'm made of metal, but since I'm metal I can also only get so hard. But unlike me, you get harder the more you're hit. You and I both have our own unique strengths. Ain't that right? Yeah, Tetsutetsu. Tonight's dinner's beef stew. Oh wow, everyone from Class B's here. So many people are reflecting and mingling. Hey, do you have any pictures of Hawks, like from his private life? Yo, Kinoko. Well, it just so happens. How many special moves do you have? I've still only got 3, and oh my god, I love Mina sitting Mineta in front of the TV screen with all the stuff hooked up to his head. Holy hell. How many special moves do you have? I've still only got 3 and 4. So you do quirk training every night before bed. And I'm looking around to see if there's anything else cool going on. Momo and Kendo together, of course. And then, other than that, it's kind of the normal stuff. I like it, though. I like Class B hanging out with them more. Midoriya, I've been looking for you. Did you have 2 quirks this whole time? I love Todoroki as well. Huh? At first, Todoroki's a character who at the beginning of the series I was like, I don't like the sort of special edgelord who's super powerful type characters usually, but Todoroki is a character who's grown on me so much throughout the series. I freaking love Todoroki now. He's probably one of my favorites. And I'll make a favorite character video eventually. I keep forgetting to do that. You were the one who told me to come at you with everything I had, and yet you were still hiding your power. I have to say I'm a little shocked. No, you've got it all wrong. It's probably a quirk derivation or something, and they originated from the same quirk. Yeah. Today, that was the first time that ever happened, and even I was surprised. I see. That must have been rough on you. Sorry for doubting you. Things really took an unexpected turn, but you did pretty well. Somehow, the half-and-half bastard's both perceptive and dense at the same time. Thanks, Bakugo. You were amazing too, Todoroki. You've become able to use your flames really well. Nah, I've got a long way to go. I'm the same as you. So that's why, and he looks at his phone, I'm gonna keep climbing even higher, and we see Endeavor. And he's looking at his phone while beating up some villains. Shota, I love whenever he texts him just like a bunch of messages again and again, and he's being just this ridiculous doting father. Shoto, how are you? We need to talk. I'll be waiting for your reply. There's a few things I'd like you to teach me about flash fire. I never would have thought that you'd be the one to ask me about it. Heh hee. Oh my god, freaking Endeavor. The next day. So what's decided then? I'll take care of the necessary documents. You all can focus entirely on his education. Much appreciated. Alright, so of course Shinso's going to be going to one of the hero courses probably. That Shinso is a lot like you back in the day, don't you think? Says Present Mike. Did you see yourself in him, Aizawa? Or maybe Okay, this is who we must have seen in that flashback then, Shirakumo. Okay. If you have something to say, make it quick. I've got some business to take care of. Because that totally looked like Present Mike in the flashback with him. So Shirakumo must be the other guy. I wonder what happened to him then. Nothing much, just reminiscing about the past. Maybe they're going to be a new villain character. Maybe that's going to be it. And maybe he saw Shirakumo in Shinso because he saw the potential for him to fall to a villain if they hadn't trained him properly or given him the path to be a hero that he wanted to take. Because maybe that's what happened to Shirakumo. But we'll see. Now we have the teacher's dorms. It's the dark face of Yue, and Eddie is sweating. Oh, the cute sweater, though. Ahaha, whatever is this girl talking about? I have not the faintest. During the culture festival, I told her that's who you were, says Mirio. I'll have you know that I followed the path of justice, the same as you. What exactly is going on here, says Izuku. It's true, he said it in volume 19, page 103. Mirio's harsh, isn't he? Oh, I love that outfit for Eddie. So cute. Hey Midoriya, Tagata, sorry for calling you out here. I had a request of Monoma, but unfortunately the combination of Eddie's delicate mental state and Monoma's, well, everything would be pretty terrible, so... Anyway, come on in. Honestly, what kind of fiend do you take me for? Oh, and he grew a horn too. Yeah, it's a dud. I'm afraid I won't be of any use, Eraser. Okay, that's interesting. He grew the horn as well when he tried to copy her ability. Is that so? Too bad. You had him copy Eddie's quirk, but what for? Monoma, what do you mean by a dud? She's the same type as you. I presume you have the type of quirk that stores power, correct? When I copy a quirk, I copy its nature. But when it's the type of quirk that accumulates one thing or another and converts it to energy, I'm unable to copy the accumulation itself. Okay. An example for Fat Gum, the prerequisite for his quirk is accumulated fat. Even if Monoma copies it, it won't be effective because Monoma has a slim build. So it's sort of the same thing where what everybody was saying is when he copies Izuku's ability, he's copying the ability to store and pass on power, but he doesn't have any of that stored or passed on power. So I guess with Eddie, it's something similar then. It happens every once in a while. That's the reason I wasn't able to use your true power, even though I copied your quirk. If it weren't for Monoma, or if it weren't for that, Monoma would have exploded. Dodged a bullet there, thinks Izuku. Why'd you have him try and copy it, says Mirio. If Eri becomes able to activate her quirk again, as long as she doesn't know how to use it, we could easily have a repeat of last time, so I thought I might have Monoma copy it so she could learn how it works firsthand. Then things would be a little easier on Eri, but I guess it won't be that easy. I'm sorry, it's all my fault, she says. She starts touching her horn. My power only hurts people. I wish I didn't have such a bad power. Eddie. Don't you remember, Eddie? You haven't just hurt people, says Izuku. You saved me, didn't you? That's right. It's not the power, it's how you use it. Like, take a knife, for example. Sure, it's dangerous, but the better it cuts, the more delicious food you can make. So I think your power is absolutely wonderful. Even so, this power is my ally. I like this as well, that he's basically connecting what Eddie's going through to what he's going through to kind of affirm himself. One day, I'll make it my own, he thinks back. You're right, I'll do my best. I'll master its power too, no matter what. They share the same determination. I'll master one for all. Chapter 217, next issue will be on hiatus. My Hero Academia will return in issue 14. That's okay. I think it's good when mangaka can take a week break here and there. So I'm all for taking a week break. Okay, we do have more after this though. Let's see what happens. Tetsu, the Man of Steel, the most hot-blooded member of Class B. His quirk is steel. He can change his entire body, or just part of it, to metal. And now we have the 4-coma stuff. Rust. During the joint training exercise, your ice and fire won't work on me, Todoroki. Wait, what? Now you're using water? And Todoroki throws water at him. It's salt water. No, I'm gonna rust! And he starts running away. Tetsu. Hey Tetsu, you got a minute? Hello? Tetsu? Earth to Tetsu. Hey, are we on a first-name basis right now? Itsuka? And he's blushing. I was calling you by your last name, right? What? Don't mislead me like that. Your name is what's misleading. I'm glad they actually made a joke of that. Maintenance. Man, that training was tiring. Let's recharge in the baths at the dorm. And everybody's washing. I sure was sweaty after that combat training. Tetsu, your body soap smells kinda weird. Yeah, but for me this stuff is the best. Try some, Monoma, as a bottle of rust away. I'm pretty sure that's not meant for humans. That was great. I love when they do the 4-coma stuff at the end. Okay, so yeah, I really liked all of the... Wow, this was a long read, or reaction read-through, whatever. I really like this. This was really good. So like I said, it was actually basically between arcs. We're going to jump around and see what all these characters are doing. So next chapter, whenever we come back from hiatus, I would not be surprised at all if we saw what was going on with Gran Torino and the villains. And maybe more of Endeavor, but since we saw him here talking to Todoroki, rather than showing him in the family setting, I think right now Horikoshi's just going to show him more in the training setting. For now, we'll get back to the family stuff eventually, I'm sure. So, yeah, I guess I would expect to probably see more of the villains next chapter if I were to guess, personally. And of course, taking that hiatus might make sense because of that, because a lot of the villain designs are pretty complex, and Horikoshi probably wants to bring them back with all that full complexity. Like, especially, like, you think about, like, Spinner or Dabi or, especially Shigaraki, their designs are very complex. So we'll see what happens. I enjoyed it though, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, what you thought of my first thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more. Boku no Hero Academia, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord about this series or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link to the Discord server. So that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.